I'm about to The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs. The Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs.
All right, this is the Aritst United Network. We're here with Jane the Artist, our artist Jane. She's going to do a soul sketch today, which I'm really excited about, and also kind of a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. So Jane, just tell me the detail about it.
Basically the prompts and the things that come to me speak through me, and then I also give you a detailed sketch at the end of basically a representation of where your soul is at right now, or it can be a passed on loved one, or it can be a spirit animal or a spirit guide. It just all depends on the person. And so I just incorporate my artistic abilities with my ability to channel.
Let me wait. What's the first step?
So the first step is basically take a card from each of these decks and flip it up. Let me see it.
Obviously not the top one, just pick one and...
You know what? Use your intuition.
Okay. I'm going to pick the top one of the middle one, and then I'm going to pick the second card, the third one. Okay, so I have the 3 cards here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you will just place them down so that I can see what's going on.
Faced up.
Face up, yeah,
okay, so
that's fine.
Right here on top of the stack is good?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Okay, can you flip that one over? On the other side. Those are a little complicated, so.
Oh, okay.
What am I feeling? So I'm seeing, I'm going to read your aura as well.
Okay.
And kind of, it's a good thing you got a green screen, because that's a good way to kind of see things out. Okay, so the first thing that I've noticed is that you've got a lot of yellow and blue going on for you. So those are connected to the solar plexus chakra, and blue is a throat chakra. And so what the throat actually is connected to self-expression. The solar plexus, which, funny that you drew that card, it's connected to the inner fire, the fire in our bellies, what the Native Americans call it. And it is essentially your self-esteem, your will, everything that is connected to what you do in life. And when something is lacking, as far as a chakra being closed or having a dim chakra, it happens to reflect upon your intuition and your ability to focus from having a goal to manifesting that goal. It's the bridge between the idea and the manifestation of that idea. So sometimes that can mean that there are places in your life that you don't feel entirely confident. And as we spoke earlier, you have the ability to translate some of your more awkward feelings into humor.
Right.
As a defense mechanism. And that is not uncommon for people, especially people who work in the arts and in, if you want to call it entertainment, you know, interviewing people. That is sometimes, you know, it can be a situation where you can be easily put on the spot. It's interesting because you have a lot of ability to translate your ideas into manifestation. And right now, I would like for you to take your nervousness and just see what you can do. Just take a deep breath and toss it out the window. Okay. I'm going to do the same as well. Now, with the Poise card, that tells me that you are beginning a new project. And this project is obviously connected to your creative abilities. And in fact, I believe that you have some artistic abilities outside of just doing this. And that can branch off from here into other areas of your life that can actually be beneficial to your love life, because it can actually involve your partner. And let me just see here. I gotta start doing this because this is coming.
Okay.
The blue is also related to opening your third eye, and that is about clairvoyance, and that's about following your inner source, basically. I would like for you to kind of tell me a little bit, because this is connected to your childhood. All of your talents are connected to your childhood, and that's where it all began. Were you bullied in school?
Only in the 7th grade I was. After that, no.
It was like adolescence came up.
Yeah, just 7th grade on the bus mostly. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, yeah, that is something.
But
you know, that area in life. I think I picked up on that because that's kind of where I feel like you really hit kind of a paradigm shift or a turning point in your life where things got kind of rough there for a while, but then you started to kind of come out of your shell. You started to kind of get to know yourself, and it took a while. But
I think what helped me back then is I got into hockey and sports, and I was on a team. And so when you become a part of a team, you kind of, you're not really the single loner guy or whatever.
Right? Yeah. That is essentially something that will come in handy for you now in this particular arena, teaming up with other artists and having the ability to basically have the cooperative components in your life that will merge other people to you. It's almost like, the artistic people and the creative people, the people who produce things and make basically the non-physical into the physical, just like I'm doing here. That is something that it's like we're on a grid and it's like a matrix, basically.
Right.
We're all connected, and so therefore you will get more of that the more that you produce and the more that you interview and the further that you go deeper with this pursuit that you have. And I feel like your intensity for curiosity is just fascinating me right now.
Okay.
It's like your eyes are just like locked.
Oh, sorry. Well, no, I was just thinking,
don't apologize. Please don't apologize, because I can read you better that way. So yeah.
I'm imagining what you're saying. I'm visualizing what you're saying. When
Right.
You're saying it to me.
Thirst for knowledge whenever it comes to other artists and their artistic process. I would say that if you have not ventured into actual visual art, that is something that you will surprisingly find that you're good at. And the actual, just not even having an agenda about it, not even like saying, oh, well, I could do this for an art show or I could do this for this, and believe me, I've been there. And I think it would be beneficial for you to just have the process of getting a canvas, painting on it, and not having any particular end result that you want. Therefore, any type of pent-up frustration that you have that relate to any maybe technical problems or problems that may arise just daily, not big problems, but small problems that arise in your love life or just in daily life, that will come out on canvas, and it's almost like an exorcism.
Okay.
So that's being channeled as well. I'm getting the words inner fire. So this has a lot to do going back to the solar plexus. Are you feeling like right now, you mentioned that you were nervous, but is this a common occurrence for you in certain areas of your life? You're not necessarily feeling I don't want to say you're real down on yourself, because that's not the case. It's just these little minor things that come up where you're kind of like, and you're unsure of yourself.
Just probably little minor things, and I definitely have an inner fire because I feel like I'm getting to the point in my life is either make it or break it. Like it's either
do or die.
Well, I just feel like I've never made it to the next level or whatever. I've always been I feel like I've been stuck, like in certain spots.
You can take ease, because I can tell you right now, nothing ever stays stagnant, no matter how much we feel it. Basically, negative emotion, any type of negative emotion, it is an indicator that you're outside of your vortex. Anytime that you're feeling the fire and you're feeling so on fire for something, you're happy, you're content, you're peaceful, all these, basically when things come to you at a very almost in an effortless way. You find somebody you want on the show that is exactly who you were looking for, things like that, things that line up so effortlessly. That's whenever you're in the vortex and you're law of attracting the things that you are meant to have. And so when you're out of the vortex, it's a good thing, because it can indicate your practice of getting back into it. And so that's what I've kind of learned with just daily life and with my artistic process. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, if you want to get into the creative realm, an example would be if you just can't seem to get anything to work. And you got to walk away from it, you know. That is an indicator that you're out of your vortex, got to step away. It's just like whenever I'm painting and I get stuck on something and I feel like I just can't get it to work and it's frustrating. Yeah, that's whenever I'm not jiving. I don't have my mojo with me, if you want to call it that.
Right.
So that is something to think about, to work on. I would recommend getting on YouTube, and YouTube is a plethora of help as far as, you know, your inner work. Dare I say self-help, because I really don't like those. It has a stigma attached to it. But everybody, if living, is on a path of self-help one way or another, whether they're aware of it or not. And so meditating would help. Releasing that anger that comes up sometimes. It's like,
Okay.
You know, you're not one to necessarily show those emotions when that creeps up, but if you had something that you could use outside of, you know, any type of creative pursuit that has an end result that you want, that would help you get that out of yourself, you know. Exercise.
Yeah, I could definitely use that. Yeah.
That in itself, you know, when it comes to opening the third eye, it's not as mystical as people think it is. It really isn't. It's tuning in to who you are, basically at the very heart of yourself. And what this will do is it will enable you to connect to so many things that maybe you never had really thought of before. It's ease. It's like everything is at ease. And you can tell when someone is having a bad day. You can tell, you get these little clues and cues. And let's see. Let's see. I could even see this particular network growing vastly. Getting something about summer, or, you know, did this sort of take off in the past summer?
It took off. It shot like a rocket.
This will continue. You know, you're on the right path with this. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do. It's just,
I feel like you feel that.
I feel a lot of stuff we're doing right now is just to build the brand, but hopefully, I only have so much money to keep going forward. So it's kind of like, that's probably the nervousness.
Okay. So money. Let's talk money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
That is something that you can manifest easily, that with getting into your vortex and realizing that, okay, here's the thing. When you focus upon what you don't want, you get more of it, whether you want it or not. Whatever it is that your point of attraction is, this table, this network, me, you, whatever, there's focusing on the abundance of it or the absence of it, or the lack of.
Right.
So the words that you use regarding money, it's very, very powerful to find the right words that you want, you know, and you got to feel that money coming in, whether in reality it is or isn't,
Right.
before it actually like shows up. You'll realize over time what will shape your future, because you are the creator of your own reality. I feel like you have a great amount of expansion coming your way personally. And it's because, I can see it in your eyes, it's because you have such a sense of wonder about things, and, you know, you're willing to open up to different avenues of, you know, personal development. And, you know, this is connected to your past life too, because your sketch essentially shows me as you from a former life as a monk.
A monk. Okay.
Yes, this is very interesting, because you have a certain way about you. Now, this is for people who don't know you, such as myself. There's a certain amount of It's enigmatic right now. Stoic. But you're very, very, underneath that, you're very humorous, you're very kind, you're very warm-hearted. You're a genuine person. You don't like it whenever people are sketchy, or, nobody likes that, but I mean, there are people like that. So, you prefer to work with people who are just like you, who appreciate the arts, appreciate things that are of beauty, and you want to learn more about that in that, whatever realm that may be, because it is, like I said before, it is like a grid. Now, it is purely entertainment at its best. And it's like you're building an empire. It's like I see like a city in my mind's eye, basically. So this is going to become something genuinely, literally big. It's going to be big. If you are up to speed with it, if you're ready to strap in, that's the thing that you got to ask yourself. Are you ready to be ready?
I am ready to be ready, and I feel growth myself when I'm, if I'm nervous to do something, you fight those nerves and you fight whatever your fears or whatever. I feel growth in that. So,
in those times of nervousness, do you find yourself reaching for something that soothes your mind, keeps you out from, like, basically, is it taking deep breaths? Is it meditation? Centering yourself? What helps with that? So,
what makes me not get nervous about certain things is I think of all the times I've been defeated. I don't get angry about it. I just, it's just like I just get tired of losing. So,
when you think about those things, they get reactivated. Those memories bring up emotions that get reactivated, and you don't want to go back there. So basically, if you can find 5 to 15 minutes every day of meditation will help you center yourself, and you'll find that the stress and the way that you approach things is more at ease, it's more centered, it's more calm. So those things that you do feel nervous about, just like I did this morning, where it was like I had to sit down and meditate. And I went deep for 15 minutes. And as soon as I came back, essentially, I was ready. I was ready to be here. I did not have the knot in my stomach. That's an indicator of your solar plexus chakra being obnoxious. And basically, it's like closing up. And those energy centers are indicators of what affects us in our body and in our daily life. So if you find yourself not knowing exactly where the vision is going to go, that's your third eye. And if you feel, knot in your stomach, or if you feel uneasy about things, essentially, or maybe not confident enough to approach certain things, that's your solar plexus. You have to know that this will be a success, and not just believe it, but know it, and it will be. You cannot go wrong with that. Yes, this is like also a physical representation of your soul right now, because you're opening up and you're becoming more, and you're expanding more through the knowledge of these artists that you're interviewing, and becoming the idea that you were stagnant, even though nothing ever stays the same. You feel like things are finally in motion, and sometimes it's even like a little bit of a roller coaster right now.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So just hang on tight. Make sure that you have done your work. Getting into your soul into alignment, it trumps everything. It will trump your thoughts of unease, nervousness, whatever may come up, and know that you are important to the dynamics of the big picture. Okay. So I've also wrote down Abraham Hicks. I've also written down yellow jasper. That is a crystal that you can keep on you that will keep your solar plexus activated and in balance. It helps with feelings of confidence. It helps with enabling your inner fire to be, willing to push forward and wait a minute, I don't want to use the word push, to go forward. And take these wonderful ideas that you have and spring them into action, because first we got to be ready inside.
Okay.
in order to go forward and make it happen, quote unquote, make everything into what it is and what it can be, and you know these big visions that you have, because I do see that you do have a lot of big ideas stirring and brewing, and it's not going to stop, you know, as long as you keep going. So I'm going to add in a little bit of blue here, indigo, for the third eye here, and I also want to spray this down with some Krylon so that it does not smudge and it will dry. I'm going to wrap this up here just real quick. I'm going to spray this down. It's going to stink.
Beautiful. And I guess we'll hold up to the camera.
You can, yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Do we have a... Oh, we'll scan it and put it in there. It's beautiful. We're going to put it on the wall in here. It's awesome. If somebody wanted to do what we just did here...
I also do basically really in-depth soul paintings and soul drawings where they can commission me for the work, and I can, you know, take however long, you know, a week or two or whatever, sit down with it and really get really in-depth.
Okay.
And do it that way as well, where they're not actually sitting with me.
When you do that, though, do they have to give you like pictures? I mean, how do you? I mean, if they're not with you, how do you figure out when you're painting at home or whatever?
I meditate.
You meditate.
I meditate on them, and they can give me pictures for sure, especially if they want to, you know, come in contact with a loved one or something like that that has made their transition into non-physical, basically passed on. So, and that sometimes comes up in readings too as well. And I really enjoy doing this. I think what I enjoy most about it is not just that I get to give you a piece of art that I have channeled, but the interaction and the connection that I make with people. I find everyone that comes to me has a certain brilliance to them, and I get to know them and I get to connect with them, and it's just a really exhilarating experience.
Yeah, I had a real great time. I was really relaxed. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you for having me.
All right, this is the Artists United Network, and thank you for watching.
The Artists United Network is filmed on location at Streetscape Studios.